disrespect, frustration, punches thrown. Raptors lose huge to the Cleveland Cavaliers, the defending Eastern Conference champions, 101-126. Raptors were destroyed at the end of the game. Raptors lost every single quarter, just didn't bring their A game, their B game, or even their C game tonight. Just a poor effort overall. Honestly, the only guys that actually played well in this game was either Kyle Lowry and Kawhi Leonard were the only two guys. Honestly, maybe Serge Ibaka played well, but then he just cleaned up his slate, hit the showers early, and is probably going to get suspended for a large amount of games after throwing punches with Marquese Chriss, after getting instigated by Marquese Chriss after he got fouled. No call, of course, by the refs all game long, but to get instigated by a scrub like Marquese Chriss was just beneath you right there, Serge Ibaka. You can't afford something like this during this stretch where you have to maintain your second seed and maybe even jump to your first seed, since the Bucks are losing a couple games as well. Just when you got within 2 games of the Bucks, this happens, and Serge Ibaka is going to be out for a while. It depends on what the NBA says, but he got instigated by Marquese Chriss at the end of the third quarter. He got knocked down to the ground. Marquese Chriss said something to him. Serge Ibaka got up, put his arms on his throat, threw him into the NBA stanchion, and then Marquese Chriss threw a punch, and Serge Ibaka threw one right back at him. Luckily, it missed. Even though Raptor fans all over were saying they wanted it to connect, it would have been way worse of a suspension if it did connect. So thankfully it didn't. Nobody was substantially hurt in this one, so both parties left. But man, Marquese Chriss has a reputation of being a dirty player. He even had a reputation back then on his former team when he just blindsided one of the guys when he wasn't involved in the controversy in the first place between the two other guys. And you know, that's the kind of guy he is. He's been bouncing from team to team, and honestly, Serge Ibaka, that was not a smart move. Moving on to the rest of the game, the Raptors, not much to talk about. Raptors turned the ball over like crazy once again. 20 turnovers in this game. Just did not bring their game. Could not defend at all. Could not contain the penetration, and allowed multiple open looks from 3. The Cavs are a high 3-point shooting team, and well, they knocked him down big time tonight. 44% from 3. Even Colin Sexton, who's not known as a 3-point shooter, was just raining it all game long. Shining Fry even hit a bank 3 at the end of the day. Got a standing ovation from the Cleveland bench and crowd. That's the type of game it was for the Raptors, as they could not defend anything tonight. Norman Powell and Jeremy Lin, by far were your 2 shittiest players tonight. Just did not bring it on either side of the game. Norman Powell could not guard anybody. Brandon Knight, Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton all drove right past him. It was a joke to see on defense. Nick Nurse didn't even play him in that third quarter as much as he usually does because he was playing terribly. He gave McCall more minutes, but honestly, it was too late. The rest of the team just didn't bring it at all. It was just a tough game to watch. Frustrating to see this team lose to a lowly Cavaliers team who's trying to go out for Zion Williamson in the draft, just tanking. But man, that's a terrible, terrible loss. I understand it's a back-to-back and you played long minutes against Miami, but come on, man. That was a poor effort right there from your full lineup. Kawhi Leonard played too, but just didn't get anything going. Now, one of the issues all game long was the officiating. I believe the officiating on the Raptors side was called too tight, and the other side they were just loose. It seemed like the Raptors were getting the short end of the stick all game long, and honestly, Dave Nwaba was fouling all game long, and these guys were just hitting the Raptors continuously, yet the Raptors barely touched these guys. Jeremy Lin got caught for some phantom calls, Siakam the same way, Lowry the same way. It was just didn't make any sense from the referee's standpoint. Just call the game fair on both sides. It's just frustrating to see that because the Cavs went to the free throw line continuously the entire game. It was just frustrating to see that throughout the entire game. And then that third quarter ending, Serge Ibaka gets absolutely crunched on the arm. His left arm couldn't even be lifted up. He got knocked to the ground. Referee right there on the play, can see it clearly, didn't call anything. That the reason why these games and people get frustrated and fights happen now is because you guys cannot control the game, and that is exactly what happened. But that's not the reason the Raptors lost today. It was the poor effort and the poor focus going in. Nick Nurse could not get the guys focused in. Lowry tried motivating the guys with his play, but the rest of the team just couldn't follow tonight. It was tough. One bad thing I noticed in this game, the Raptors were just getting absolutely beat up all game long. Lowry got hit by Dave Nwaba in the air. Risky play. I don't know what Dave Nwaba was even thinking. It was a stupid play. He hits Lowry. Lowry limps off and then continues to play. But then after a while, Nick Nurse let him off the hook, benched him, and then Lowry head off to the locker room, did not return in the game. Danny Green got knocked early in the game by Marquese, and then he was down, didn't return, I believe, in the second half as much. Then Patrick McCaw gets laid out by Zizic, and then he takes one in the face. Tough one right there. And then Siakam gets hit too while he was driving into the paint. He was not playing his best game either. And then Ibaka gets ejected. Terrible game all around. Raptors really got beat up. One thing I did notice going forward is that the Raptors put the ball into Marc Gasol's hand, and Marc Gasol is still not being aggressive enough. He is too unselfish, just passing the ball around. He needs to score for himself because the defense is not converging. They're just waiting on Marc Gasol to pass the basketball, and it's not doing anything for the Raptors when he can't take advantage of these mismatches. And in the post, he's just not hitting his shot, whether it's from the outside or the inside. He's got to get some shots going in. He's got to be more aggressive. You need at least 10 points at least from Marc Gasol. Let alone Ibaka's out. I expect double-doubles from Marc Gasol from now on. 15 points, 10 rebounds at least is what the minimum should be for Marc Gasol. If that guy's level of play, he should be at that kind of level. Honestly, this trade doesn't look so good right now, just comparing it. But I still believe in Marc Gasol. He's got to step up, and he's got to show that he could score still with the best of them in the post. He's got a huge advantage. There's not a lot of setters being played nowadays. Marc Gasol's got to take advantage. But man, the Raptors do not play for a while. They don't play until Thursday, so the Raptors get extra rest. But that was a tough end to the road trip right there. Until next time, guys. Peace. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the Raptors Wrap Up. Smash that like button, guys. Until next time. Deuces.